Hi, Room 153. I miss you very, very much. And I also miss our News-2-You and class activity on Fridays. So I thought this week for our first video together that I would read the News-2-You for this week, and then we would make a recipe that goes with the story. For our first story this week, it's on a young girl named Greta Thunberg and all the stuff that she talks about for climate change on for Earth. And then, since it is Earth Day on Wednesday, we are going to make dirt cups for a class activity. I hope you all enjoy. So because this week has Earth Day, which is on Wednesday, April 22nd, our News-2-You for this week is about a girl who wants to help protect the Earth. Her name is Greta Thunberg, and this is a little bit about her. It's called Greta Thunberg and Earth. Many people want to protect Earth. Many people celebrate protecting Earth on Earth Day. Earth Day is April 22nd. One person who wants to protect Earth is Greta Thunberg. Greta was born in Sweden. Greta is 17 years old. Greta has Asperger's syndrome. Asperger's syndrome is a kind of autism. People with autism may think differently. Greta gives speeches about climate change. She learned about climate change at 8 years old. Climate is the usual weather in a place. Many people think the climate is changing. They think the climate change could be dangerous for Earth. Climate change may bring floods, storms, wildfires, and more. Greta wants to help stop climate change. Greta wants government leaders to help too. She started protests in front of government buildings. Students around the world heard about Greta. They wanted to help stop climate change. Those students started to do protests too. Greta started to meet with leaders. Now she meets with leaders around the world. Greta talks to leaders about climate change. She talks about how leaders can protect Earth. Greta asks leaders to write laws. She wants the laws to protect Earth. Greta asks other people to protect Earth too. Greta thinks everyone can help. Greta has ideas to protect Earth. Greta asks people not to fly on planes. Planes can make pollution. Pollution can hurt Earth. Protecting Earth is important to Greta Thunberg. Greta is brave. She meets with many adult leaders. She talks about something important to her. Why is protecting Earth important? Well, I think that protecting the Earth is important because it's where we live, and we want to have a safe place to live that isn't full of pollution and is safe for all of the humans and the animals to live. Greta Thunberg. Greta Thunberg was born in Stockholm, Sweden. Greta started doing protests in 2018. Time magazine named Greta the 2019 Person of the Year. She is the youngest person to be Person of the Year. Now Greta gives speeches around the world. Sweden. Greta Thunberg was born in Sweden. Sweden is a country in Northern Europe. The capital city of Sweden is Stockholm. The Baltic Sea is southeast of Sweden. Sweden is part of the Scandinavian peninsula. Knock, knock. Who's there? Place. Place who? Place help protect Earth, please. I have a joke. Tell me. How does the rain tie a shoe? I don't know. How? With a rainbow. All right, we are going to choose the picture that is not about Greta Thunberg and Earth. So for the first line, we have weather, think, Earth, and hairdryer. So if I think back to the story, I remember she was thinking about ways that we can help the Earth and we were talking about climate change and weather. So I think for line 1, the one not in our story, is hair dryer.
Hair dryer.
For line 2, we have pollution, church, climate change, and protest. I remember she spoke about planes and not wanting us to ride on planes because they cause pollution, which is bad for Earth. She was also talking about climate change and protesting the laws that are in existence to try to get the government leaders to make better laws. So I think church is the one we should pick.
Church.
That's not in our story. The next line, important, idea, George Washington, and speech. Well, I know that she has lots of ideas, and they're very important to helping Earth, and she gives speeches to government leaders. So while George Washington is important to our country, he's not really mentioned in this story.
George Washington.
The next line, checkers, law, brave, and protect. Our story talked about how Greta is so very brave when she tries to get laws to protect our planet. So I think this line is checkers.
Checkers.
And for our last one here, autism, storm, scrapbook, and plane. Well, we're talking about weather a lot, so I think storms is in our story. And she talks about planes and how they cause pollution. And Greta has a form of autism called Asperger's. So I think for this last line, what's not in our story is scrapbook.
Scrapbook.
Now we're going to go to the review page. Number 1, what is this paper about? Stress Awareness Month, Greta Thunberg and Earth, or the coronavirus? Well, this paper was all about an awesome young girl named Greta Thunberg.
Greta Thunberg and Earth.
Who gives speeches about climate change? Abraham Lincoln, Greta Thunberg, or Aretha Franklin? Well, it's who our paper is about.
Greta Thunberg.
Where was Greta Thunberg born? Israel, Ecuador, or Sweden? I remember them speaking in the story all about Sweden and where it was located. That's where Greta was born.
Sweden.
What does Greta Thunberg want to protect? Earth, sun, or stars? Well, it's right there in the title of our story, Greta Thunberg and Earth.
Earth.
What can hurt Earth? Rocks, plants, or pollution? She talks all about how pollution can hurt Earth.
Pollution.
What can leaders write to help protect Earth? Code, recipes, or laws? Well, when she goes to speak to the government leaders, she asks them to help write laws to help protect Earth.
Laws.
What could be a change in climate? Hotter temperatures, taller buildings, or faster cars? So the climate is the weather over a long period of time in an area. So when we think about temperature and weather and climate, we're not talking about buildings or cars, we're talking about temperatures.
Hotter temperatures.
What transportation would make the least pollution? Flying, walking, or driving? So she spoke about how planes cause pollution. So that would be flying. And planes and cars both create pollution. So flying and driving would definitely cause pollution, but walking doesn't cause any pollution.
Walking.
All right, my friends, that was a great job reading the story with me on Greta Thunberg and Earth. And now we are going to move on to class activity, where today we are going to make Earth Day dirt cups. We are going to need some things. We're going to need pudding cups, chocolate ones, Cool Whip, Oreos, gummy worms, and then some regular kitchen supplies we're going to need to help us. Ziploc bags, spoons, and cups. So get everything you need if you'd like to make the recipe with me. If not, you can just watch and hang out. Hi everyone, We're ready to make our dirt cups. The first thing we're gonna do is take our Oreos and we're gonna put them in our Ziploc bag and we're gonna seal it up just like we did in class. And we are going to smush the Oreos and break them into lots and lots of little pieces. This is gonna be our dirt in our dirt cup. It looks just like the dirt, huh? And some of that white stuff can look like the snow that we had earlier this week. Smush these up so we're all ready to use them. And then we're gonna get ready to mix our stuff into our mixing bowl. We need our Cool Whip right here. And we're gonna put a whole bunch of this into our bowl. Boop. And then we're gonna take our chocolate pudding. I have 2 little chocolate pudding cups right here. Then I'm gonna mix in. All right. And then I'm gonna take my really big spoon right here and I'm gonna mix it all up. And it's starting to look a lot lighter, right? Because we mixed the chocolate pudding with the Cool Whip and we're making a light brown right here in our bowl. And then we're gonna take some of our cookie crumble mix that we made. Not all of it, we're gonna save some to sprinkle on the top. But we're gonna put maybe half of our mix into our big bowl. And we're gonna mix it all around. Kind of looks like when we're digging outside in the dirt. And then we're gonna take our cup and we're gonna take a big scoop of what we just made and a little bit of our Oreo mix to put on top. Not all of it, keep saving some. We're gonna make some layers. And then we'll take another scoop of our brown goo in here. And then we'll put some more Oreos right on top. You can fill the rest now. And then I have our gummy worms because we have to have those worms coming out of our dirt cups. So I'm gonna pick 2 worms to put in my dirt cup. And I'm gonna put them here on top. And I have my dirt cup. I hope you enjoyed learning today about Greta Thunberg, ways that we can protect the earth and how brave she was. And think of ways that you can help the earth for Earth Day. Maybe you recycle. Maybe you make sure you don't litter. Maybe you plant fruits and vegetables or trees. Think of ways that you can help the earth and make sure that you enjoy your dirt cup if you've made it with me. And I look forward to making another video for you next week. Bye.